Very good evening, everybody. If you can hear me, yes in the chat box, please. If you can hear me loud and clear, a yes in the chat box, everyone. Thank you. Today's class is a cornerstone in learning because a very, very important aspect is now going to begin. So you see, it's exactly 1 month from your exam. Like if you see the exam date, it's going to be exactly 1 month after in the same week. So up until now, I helped you practice some major aspects of this exam where I introduced you to learning, the learning documents using, so revision was introduced. Then I introduced you to the pre-scene. Then I introduced you to writing practice. Now, finally, we are going to combine all of this. And the time comes when mock questions begin. So every single thing that you have learned till now, may it be revision, may it be pre-scene knowledge, may it be typing skill, will be used in mock question writing. And I am going to teach you how to take mock questions, how to approach mock questions that I am going to teach you. Your job is going to be to simply follow and submit the homework on time. So even before I begin, let me tell you now the homework is going to be time bound. So if I give you homework, you will 100% have to stick to the deadline because every single student's mock is going to be individually, personally marked, checked and corrected by my marking team. So if we want to give you that quality, then we need time. And for time, you will have to submit your assignments on time. And 100% we will mark them for you. If for any reason you do not stick to the deadline, we will not be able to mark your mocks because naturally there is going to be a very quick turnaround time. But trust me, for all of y'all, I am going to give you mocks which is very much doable in the weekdays, scheduling majority of your homework for the weekend. So everybody will be able to submit and will be able to do well on the mocks. And I am sure about that. I will schedule it in such a way that it's easy for you to attend and easy for you to submit the mock. Can everybody now see both sides of my screen? Yes, no in the chat box, please. On the left hand side, it says how to write an answer. On the right hand side is the first mock question. So now I am going to teach you the 6 steps of mock question writing. I am going to teach you the steps you need to keep in mind when you are writing mock questions. And no matter what the question is, I want us to make sure that we follow these same 6 steps. So let's start. The first step is very simple. It's called being professional. Now, everybody, your role in the operational case study exam is that of a finance officer who is working at Kanann and whose job is to make it easy for the senior finance manager or the person that you are reporting to. Your job is to make his job easier, or your job is to present explanations so that he can present it forward. So whatever you write, I have mentioned this from the very beginning, needs to be simple and easy to understand. So the first step is to drill it into your mind and hammer it into your mind that whatever I write has to be simple, easy to understand, and uncomplicated. Are we clear about this, everybody? After every step, I will ask you if you are with me. So please let me know if you are with me, and if you have any doubts, the chat box is where you can put it down. So first step is very clear. Even before I start reading the question, I know that I have to present the answer in a simple, easy way, which is not to be complicated. Thank you. Second, why are you writing the report? So what is the purpose? So the second step is start to read the question. The second step is you will read the question from the top to the bottom, not missing out on any single detail, making sure that you read every word, every line, and do not miss anything. So now on the right hand side, we are on step number 2. So let's start reading the question. The question says you arrive at work and read an announcement on the staff intranet that says that a new range of sensor based saddles for performance riders has been developed. So straight away pre-seen knowledge has to come to the floor over here. This is a light bulb. This is a new product which we are not producing yet. There will initially be 5 new variants with different inputs. The new range will be made with a pure combination of input which will be 100% sustainable. Input for my company, I know majorly is going to be leather. Now, the plan is that each variant will be sold for a 6-month period. Lois Camel, head of finance, sends you the following email. Subject: new variants of sensor based saddles for performance riders, not for leisure riders. It's for performance riders. So everybody, the question that we are reading over here is the exact same pattern, structure, and system of the question that you can expect in the exam. Exam questions are not going to be any different to these questions in terms of pattern and structure. So your steps which I'm teaching you will remain consistent till your exam. Whatever the question, first step, I am the professional. Second step, you start reading the question from the top. So I've been working on the project to develop a sensor-based saddle for performance riders, and I would appreciate your assistance with a couple of matters. So this head of finance has messaged you. Firstly, sales and marketing team have been working hard on the marketing campaign for the new range. And I understand that a television advert is already in production, which will focus on the range's benefits and performance base. So first thing, sales and marketing. However, we have all been asked to come up with ideas of how we might use digital marketing for the new range, as it's not something that Kanann has really engaged in before. I've got some ideas, but I would like your input as well. So please prepare a briefing note for me with 2 distinct suggestions of how we could use digital marketing for this new range of sensor-based saddles for performance riders. For each suggestion, please indicate how it would work and the main benefits and drawbacks. This is 50% of your marks. Now, this is very, very important to understand, everybody. Please follow me carefully. Remember, this entire question that you see, in technical terms, they call it unseen material. What I call it is a scenario. So the entire question is a scenario which they have given to you. And in the scenario, they will generally ask you specific 2 or 3 questions. Over here, it's a clear indication that there are 2 questions because the first subtask is 50% of your marks. So naturally, second subtask generally will be another 50% of your marks. I'm coming to that. But first, I want to explain what this 50% means. So everybody, your entire exam, in my introduction video, I have clearly mentioned is going to be 150 marks, where you have to score 80 marks. 80 is a scaled score that you have to achieve to pass this exam. Now, what does this scaled score mean? That's the gray area which students don't understand. Now, Seema has said that first, every single student submission is going to be marked out of 100 marks. Your entire exam is 100 marks actually. And then depending on the difficulty of your variant, there are going to be 3 variants of the exam, 3 different exams. So if I sit the exam today and let's say another student sits the exam tomorrow, the computer will randomly assign an exam to you. So this is to prevent, sharing of questions and all of that. So there are 3 different variants. You can receive any variant randomly. Because there are 3 different variants, each variant has different set of questions. Variant means exam. There are 3 exams, 3 type of exams. You can receive any exam randomly assigned by the computer. Every exam will have different questions. Because it has different questions, the difficulty of each exam will slightly vary because questions are different, right? So exams, the difficulty will slightly vary. In the 3-4 days of the exam window, these 3 variants are the only variants which will be randomly given out. So these variants, they are different. So the difficulty will vary little bit. So Seema says that this is not fair. So what they do is every student's exam is first marked out of 100 marks. And then depending on the difficulty of your variant, a weightage is multiplied to your score. Let's say you got 60 out of 100, for example. A weightage will be multiplied to your score, which Seema will decide, which is arbitrary. None of us know it. It's something that Seema decides depending on the difficulty of your exam. If they feel that variant 1 is more difficult, every student who got variant 1, their score out of 100 will say multiplied by 1.5, for example. Everybody who gets variant 2 multiplied by 1.2, for example. These weightages we don't know. So after this multiplication, your score should be minimum 80 out of 150. Now this weightage part, can we control it? Absolutely not, because we don't even know the weightage. So my idea is forget the weightage. Let's focus on the things which I can control. And what are the things which I can control? The 100 marks. They are completely in your control, right? So now let's focus on 100 marks. Is everybody clear with this much? Have you understood the variants, the weightage that I've spoken of, everyone? Very clear. Yes, no in the chat box, please. Thank you. So I'm continuing now. We are still on step number 2, everybody. Please do not forget, we are only on step 2 where I'm still reading the question. But while reading the question, I want you to know what this 50% is, and that is why I'm explaining it. So now you have 100 marks. And we know that there are going to be 4 questions in the exam. So please, everybody, use some common sense and tell me total is 100 and there are 4 questions. So what is the value of each question? Please tell me in the chat box, everybody. Total 100. 4 questions. So naturally, 25 marks, not 25%. 25 marks is the entire question number 1. So this entire question number 1 that you see is 25 marks. And now they are saying that this first task is worth 50%. So please tell me what is the value of task number 1, everybody? Total 25. Task 1 is 50% of that 25. So what is the value of task 1, everybody? 50 upon 100 into 25. Because the entire question is 25. Out of that, half is given to task 1. So 12.5 marks is your first task. Now this is very important to understand, because students often ask me how much to write. This is your answer. Seema says one well-explained point, one well-explained argument will give you 2 marks. Well-explained is the subjective word over here. You cannot write one line and say that it's well explained. Absolutely not. Throughout the course, I have been very clear to mention details are where the marks are. So one well-explained point will give you 2 marks. So everybody, if you want to get 12.5 marks, how much to write? Please tell me in the chat box roughly. 1.2 marks. So 12.5 marks, bare minimum, I want you to target 6 well explained ideas, 6 well explained points. If you write that much, you get your marks. You write less, you get less marks. You write more, you get maximum only this much. So you have to be smart and understand how much to write where. All of this happens in your step number 2 itself, which we are speaking about right now, where you are reading the entire question, figuring out the task, and figuring out the value for each task. Are we all clear with this? Yes, in the chat box, please, everybody. This is the most important thing to understand. So get it clear right now itself. Because if you make a mistake here, you will keep making it till the date of your exam. Thank you. So let's continue. We are still reading the question, right? Secondly, I have been working with our head of buying on selecting suppliers for the new range. We still need to decide which supplier to choose. There are 3 potential suppliers, each offering 6-month contract for exclusive supply of input at different costs per kilogram and discount structures depending on the quantity that we order. Fine, let's keep reading. The sales team have given us predicted quantities of input supplier required based on 3 possible levels of sales volume. I've used this information to prepare calculations showing the potential financial impact of using each supplier. Although I haven't had a chance to prepare explanatory notes. So manager has not prepared explanatory notes. Naturally, that job is going to fall to you. Let's read. Please prepare explanatory notes for the schedule which explain the different decisions that could be taken depending on our risk attitude to risk. P1 syllabus, comma, what the value of perfect information means in this context and how it has been calculated. Guess what? There is a table over here for you as well for you to go through, which is a supplementary reading with this question itself. They've said that I have attached a schedule. Manager has said that I've already created the schedule for you. It's already over here. You just have to explain it like I told you in the first class. In this exam, there is going to be no calculations, but explanations of the calculations you will need to provide. This is another 50% of your marks. So another 12.5 marks and another 6 points which you will have to present to get your credit, to get your marks. I'm not discussing this answer with you because I will first be letting you write this. I will first be giving you this question for homework. I will still discuss it with you. I'll show you the pattern of writing and I will discuss it with you. And then I will give you this question for homework. You will write it, submit it. We will check it, mark it individually, and then I will discuss the answer with you in class as well. So it's a learning experience slowly. But right now I'm only on step number 2, where I read the entire question top to bottom, figured out my first task, figured out my second task, figured out the value for each, and figured out how much I am going to write for each. Are we clear and have we done that? Yes, everybody, step number 2 is clear. Yes, in the chat box, please, everyone. Now, how do you divide your time? You have 45 minutes in the exam. I want you to give at least 8, maximum 10, minimum 8, maximum 10 minutes to read the question, figure out your task, figure out how much you are going to write for each task. I want you to clearly figure that out in the first 8 to 10 minutes. You should aim for 8, but 10 is understandable maximum. And please don't tell me that if I give you 1.5 page of information to read, you need more than 8 to 10 minutes. I absolutely do not think that is necessary, and that is what the exam is. 1.5 page of information which you read, figure out your task, you figure out how much you're going to write for each. I have not started to write anything yet. We are only on step number 2. Are we clear, everybody? Yes, in the chat box, please. This is the planning stage where you got to give minimum 8, maximum 10. If you are in a hurry to start to write, naturally you will write something which is wrong and not get your marks. Everyone, first 2 steps clear? Yes, please, in the chat box. Thank you. We are now moving to actually writing. This is the third step, which I call as the title. You can call it title, subject line, but it has absolutely 0 marks. It takes 5 seconds. So I like to always inculcate the habit in students. The title is simply one line telling the examiner what the answer is going to include. So, digital marketing and risk discussion. Now you can write whatever you want. Whatever you want the title to be can be your title. It takes hardly 5 seconds. Please do not waste any more time on it because it's going to give you 0 marks. But I recommend it as good practice. Everybody's clear with this? Yes, in the chat box, please, everyone. Clear, simple, easy, no rocket science. Thank you. Now coming to step number 4, which is the introduction, which I'm going to ask you to skip. In the operational case study exam, see, the introduction is where you tell them what your answer is going to include in 2-3 lines. But we don't have that time. So I will expect you and I will ask you to remove it. There are no marks for the introduction. So after the title, please feel free to skip to step number 5, which is the body of the report. Are we clear, everybody? Why am asking not to do the introduction? Yes. Thank you. Now to the body. See, your 10 minutes are gone at the beginning for your reading question and all of that planning stage. You have 35 minutes remaining. The entire 35 minutes, I want you to solely focus on the body only. The body is where you present your answer. How do I start the body? By giving a subheading. Let's prepare a subheading for my task number 1. So what does they say? They say, prepare a briefing note for me with 2 distinct suggestions of how we could use digital marketing for this new range of saddles. For each, please indicate how it will work and the main benefits and drawbacks. So see, clearly they've asked for 2 suggestions of digital marketing. Each, how will it work? Advantage, disadvantage. So what will become my subheading over here? Digital marketing methods explained. Right, everybody? Simple? Yes? In the chat box, please. I'm deciding only my subheading, which is very specific to the task. After this, I will start writing. First method I recommend is social media marketing. Remember what they asked? How will it work? So over here, you should start writing now. How will it work? I'm not giving you the answer because naturally I want you to create it. But well explained point will give you 2 marks. So if you explain how will it work well, you get 2 marks. After that, they asked advantages. So the advantage of using this method would be blah, 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 whatever you want to write. You write it well, you explain it, you got another 2 marks. They had also asked drawback. The drawback of this method would be blah, 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 whatever you want to write. You write it well, explain it well, you got another 2 marks. So by writing the first method, explaining how it would be used, explaining advantage, explaining disadvantage, you wrote 3 points. So how many marks will you get, everybody? Please tell me in the chat box. Very good. You got 6 marks. 6 marks in my pocket. You write one advantage, 1 point, 2 marks. You write one disadvantage, 1 point, 2 marks. See, now think logically. If you only keep giving me points on social media, let's say you gave me 3 points here, but you give me another advantage, another disadvantage. Fine, it's correct. But think logically. Total is 12 marks. You still have to write the second method. Second method I recommend is blah, 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 blah. Whatever you want to write, same method you will follow. But if you wrote too much for social media marketing and too less for the second method, how are you doing justice? The maximum we can give you for one method is 6-7 marks. We can't give you more than that. Even if you write 20 points, that's not the purpose. The purpose is to understand the value of each task. They've asked you 2 methods, so they want 2 methods well explained. And for each method, how will it work, advantages, disadvantages, the question is very, very clearly worded. You have to make sure that you are smart and understand what they exactly want from you. Everybody's clear with me? Yes, in the chat box, please. Everyone. So you see what I did? I created simple, see first the main subheading, which is the task. And under it, I created different subheadings to make it easy for the examiner. I'm not asking you, just because I say points doesn't mean that you write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mechanically. No, points means different ideas. So over here, how will it be used becomes my first idea. Advantage becomes my second idea. I'm simply breaking it down by giving small paragraphs and small spacings. Nobody wants to read one big paragraph with 30 lines. Presentation is very important. So you write your subheadings like I have, you do your spacings like I have. Remember, your job is to make it easy for your manager, easy for the examiner, not more difficult. Are we all clear with this, everybody? Yes, in the chat box, please. So this is the body. After you finish writing digital marketing, directly skip to your second task. Your second task is very clear. Different risk attitudes. So decisions, directly put my main subheading, decisions based on different risk attitudes. Start writing whatever you have to write. Simple subheading. After task 1 is complete, simple subheading for task number 2, and I start writing. 35 minutes, you cannot put your head up. You have spent 8 minutes, 10 minutes already understanding the question. Yes, you can go up to read this table, but otherwise all the information in the question is very well understood by me because I've already given it 8 to 10 minutes. If I have to keep reading it again, I'm wasting time. Is everybody clear with me? Understand the writing pattern over here. Yes, you will make mistakes. Yes, we will correct you on those mistakes. But it's important to go ahead and make those mistakes and actually write the mock so that we can show you your mistakes. Are we all clear, everyone? So this way you will complete your answer and come to the last step, which is conclusion. In the operational level, there is no recommendation. So a simple conclusion of one line will be okay. If you need anything else, please let me know. Finance manager. Finished. I don't want any other detailing, nothing else. Your focus 35 minutes have to be given to the task. Do all your detailing that you want in the task, all your presentation in the task. I want the focus to be on the task only. Yes, Manish has corrected me. It's finance officer, my bad. So you write finance officer, finish your answer. Everybody's clear with me? Yes, understood. This is mock question writing. No rocket science except for using Kanann knowledge from the pre-scene, P1 knowledge, a topic which is already pointed out in the pre-scene analysis, in the I can statements, and again, we are now writing a question on it over here. So you are going to have a very solid background of this topic if these three revision areas are done. Are you with me, everybody? Yes, in the chat box, please. You're understanding how the course helps? Yes, I'm teaching you the pattern, but we are also testing important topics which can come up in the exam. So now my job is done, but is now the chance for you to do your job. And please, absolutely do not think that anybody is going to judge your, let's say, intellect based on the first answer that you write. I know all of you will make mistakes, but that's what I want. Everybody over here is to learn and to make mistakes. If everybody knew everything, then what am I doing over here? So forget about anything except for doing your best and submitting the answer. This is the first question that we are giving to you. That is why it's being discussed, and that is why it's being given in a Word document. From question number 2 onwards, it will be on my exam portal. I will teach you how to access it, but that's in the next class. Right now, my only focus is on this one single question. So now everybody listen to me carefully. Tomorrow, when the recording of this class goes up, under the recording of the class, same like the quiz that I gave last time, under the recording of this class, this first question as a Word file will be attached, and this PDF file that you also saw on the left hand side will also be attached over there. Your job is to simply download this question number 1. Honestly, this time I'm giving you the opportunity and the benefit of timing yourself. Question number 2 onwards, it's automatically timed, automatically submitted, exactly like the exam. But this is the first question. So I'm giving you the chance to honestly time yourself, honestly spend 45 minutes and not a minute more. You're already at an advantage because I've already discussed the question with you. So your planning time of 8 to 10 minutes is greatly reduced, but I'm still giving you 45 minutes. So based on those 45 minutes, I want you to submit a good, complete answer. So tomorrow when the recording of this class goes up, under the recording of this class, this Word file and this PDF file will be attached. Listen to the deadline very carefully. I've asked everybody to spend at least 1.5 to 2 hours of regular study every single day. So tomorrow I am going to take 45 minutes of your time. You see why I mentioned at the very beginning, give time to revision, give time to pre-scene, because now majority of your time I am going to take for mock questions. So tomorrow itself, by the end of tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow, by the end of Wednesday, your job is to solve this one question and email it back to us. We will tell you where you have to email it. It will be mentioned over there itself in the instructions. Only 45 minutes, one single question, solve it, email it to us. You can do it at any time, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I don't mind. Thursday morning, my team will log in and they will start marking your corrections first thing. Before that, it should be in our inbox because you can imagine the turnaround time for us. Thursday, we have a class. So I need the answers to be checked and with me. I need to go through them. Then I will discuss them with you in class. Then I will send you your corrections and then I will give you new questions for the weekend. So you can imagine the deadline that we are working on. I'm only asking 45 minutes of your time, but my team will have to mark 40, 45 submissions from everybody. So I believe it's a very fair deadline. Everybody, fair enough, doable. Yes, no in the chat box, please. I think it's very fair, but I want your opinion as well. Okay, great. So now wherever you are in your revision, your first priority becomes to solve the mock and submit it within deadline. You solve it whenever you want. By the end of Wednesday, send it to us. Absolutely no problem. But when you solve a mock, it should be with full intention, full commitment, full motivation, and with the aim of doing well. Not like it's homework, so I'll write whatever and submit it. It's not the exam. That shouldn't be the mindset. The mindset has to be that I want to do my best. Then even if whatever marks you score, that's fine. That's secondary. But the intention has to be pure. So tomorrow, you'll download the mock, solve it, email it to us. Thursday, we will go through it. And then in class, I will discuss it with you. Everybody very clear? Yes, in the chat box, please. Entire system understood. You will not be able to get a perfect 25 in the first exam. Please do not even, have that unrealistic situation in your mind. You will make mistakes, but do your best. When you submit your assignment, it should be like, okay, I've done my best. Now, whatever the score is, we'll learn from it. Okay, everyone? This is mock question writing. No rocket science as long as you follow these 6 steps. Finally, that is all from me for today's lesson. Mock questions have been introduced. Everybody, don't be in too much hurry just to write mocks, because without just writing mocks is not going to help. Like you saw over here, if your P1 revision is not done, how are you going to write risk attitudes? If your pre-scene knowledge is not there, how are you going to write social media? How can social media marketing be applied to Kanann? Guess what? All of this is discussed in the pre-scene. So the background pillars of revision of pre-scene are very important to actually make use of these mock questions. So from now till the date of the exam, it's going to be rapid mock writing only. Entire tranche of 25 questions will be completed before the date of your exam. This 1 month is only mock focus. You have to make sure that you first write the mock, then go back to whatever revision you are doing, wherever you are in your revision situation. That's all from me for today's lesson. If you didn't already understand the magnitude of this exam, I'm sure this mock question will open your eyes for you. But I'm sure all of you can do well with more, just focus on the assignments that we have provided. If you have any questions, email us, WhatsApp us, write the questions, come with full integrity, without any notes, without anything open. Try to do your best. Try to do your best in terms of a full 45-minute exam scenario. And then whatever it is, you will learn from it. For example, first question is on risk attitudes. You write the question and then you figure out, oh, risk attitudes I'm not very clear about. Then go back and revise risk attitudes. So after every question, you are revising these topics as well. So you are eventually learning. These are all preparations for the final exam. That's all from me for today's lesson. Full motivation, everybody. I want the mock to be submitted, and I will see you in class on Thursday, everyone. Thank you.